The question for today is very good. How do I get my man attracted to me? Now, a woman asked that, but truthfully, if you're a feminine individual trying to attract a masculine individual, this will very much apply to you. Now, I'm going to go over four tips, four overarching tips on how to get your man addicted to you. Now, I'm going to go over a lot of information within 10 minutes, so I want you to pay very close attention. The number one thing is, well, this is not in order, but number one is be healthy. We humans evolved to align with people who can demonstrate their health in many different respects, psychological health, physical health, and these many different respects. And I want you to listen to this, and when you listen to this, pay attention to how it applies to you and how it applies to what you find attractive and what other people find attractive in you, what people are attracted to you by. A woman is attracted to a man who can demonstrate his ability to survive and all the things that go along with that. Ability to acquire resources and ability to align with people who have the ability to survive and have the ability to lead other people. Now, a man is attracted to a woman not for those same characteristics. A man is attracted to a woman, a masculine is attracted to a feminine who has the ability or who have those traits of fertility. The traits that demonstrate she has the ability to be fertile. Now, I want you to pay close attention to what I just said and find where in your life those apply to you, and you'll find out it's true. Number two thing is I want you to be complete. I want you to be a whole person. Now, the notion, hold on, be complete, whole. The notion that you are looking for a better half is completely erroneous and actually creates sabotage in your life in many different respects. What you want to be is you want to be a complete person, or you want to be a whole person. When you combine two people who are incomplete, you don't get a whole person in a relationship. You don't get two whole individuals. You have two incomplete individuals who create sabotage in your relationship. Now, for people who are more enlightened in traditionally, they appreciate that a man has to be complete in order for a woman to be attracted to him. A woman is looking for a man who is already complete. But I want you to pay attention to this very closely. A woman has to be complete as well for her to get a man addicted to her. You want to be a complete person. I'm going to go over this when I go to number 4, being feminine. So number 3, I want you to be enjoyable. Be enjoyable. Love, remember, is your wanting for your beloved's happiness intrinsically to your own. In other words, just the same want, same desire for happiness that you want for yourself, you want that for your man. Now, what you want to be, if you want to get your man addicted to you, this also applies to number 4, but if you want to get your man addicted to you, you want to be the kind of person who he enjoys to be around. He doesn't want to come home from work and come home to somebody who he doesn't enjoy. But I'm going to go over the things. So you're asking, so what are the traits that is of an enjoyable person? How do I communicate with him so he enjoys me? I'm going to show you how to do that, number 4. But you want to be enjoyable. You don't want to be a naggy person. You want to be a pessimistic person. You don't want to be a negative person to be around. You don't want to be, when he's around you, he's always in a bad mood. If you want him to get addicted to you, you want to embody the traits that is enjoyable to him. And remember, you want to be healthy. You want to be complete. You want to be whole. That in itself is very, very, he's going to enjoy very much about you. But these all tie in to number 4. You want to be enjoyable. So remember, love is your wanting for your beloved's happiness, as much happiness as you want for yourself. Now, anything that makes him happy, by that definition, anything that makes him happy, you want it for him. So by that definition, you're actually going to be an enjoyable person if you actually want for his happiness. You want to take on activities that makes him happy. Number 4 is be feminine. Now, this is the crucial and most important one. Actually, this would be the number 1 out of the 4, the most important one. You grow up in a society where you are taught to embody masculine traits. Now, I want you to pay very close attention to how you evolved as masculine and feminine. There's a book called The Selfish Gene. The selfish gene is that our genes have evolved to be very selfish, and its sole purpose, our gene's sole purpose in life, the only reason we exist is that our genes is to replicate, is to persist, is to survive. The gene's goal is to just continue evolving, continue replicating, continue surviving. And replication is just a mechanism for survival. Now, at the very crux of it all, the very evolutionary foundation, we began as egg and the sperm. When you think about it, think about this metaphor. The sperm is the masculine energy. The sperm is hunting, it's conquering, it's on its way, it's doing things, it's getting things done, it's claiming, it's territorial, it takes action. Now, the egg, the feminine energy, what it does is it exists, it waits, and it's trusting that it's going to be penetrated by the male in order for it to replicate. And it's also, I want you to pay attention to this word, it's also very receptive. It's receiving. So this applies in the feminine and masculine energy. Now, this applies in your knowledge and how to be masculine and feminine. You evolved in a very masculine world, and where they tell you to go after it, go take action, go after your goals, go conquer, go crush it, go accomplish things. Those are very, very masculine traits. So for a majority of women, it's very hard for them to embody their feminine traits. Now, it's okay for you to be masculine. It's okay for you to go after it, to build a business, to accomplish things, accomplish your goals, go after your goals, and be in action all the time and be territorial. It's okay for you to take on masculine traits. They're very amazing, amazing traits. But when you're trying to get your man addicted to you, when you're interacting and interfacing with your man, when you embody those masculine traits, and I'm going to show you how to embody your feminine traits, but if you embody your masculine traits and your man is a masculine individual, you're going to butt heads like rams. So when you are embodying and taking on masculine traits, you're pushing and he's going to be leaning back. Now find yourself in scenarios and think about it for yourself. Where in your life have you interacted and interfaced with your man where they are turning away, literally physically turning away from you, and literally physically leaning back from you? And maybe they stop communicating with you, and maybe they don't pursue you. Find where in life those are happening. You are likely embodying masculine traits. But see, you grew up in a masculine environment and you don't know how to take on your feminine traits. And I'm going to show you how to do that here, how to communicate in that way. A lot of it is communication, how you communicate with your partner. I'm going to show you how to do that in a feminine way. And it's really easy to learn. Now, the masculine doesn't want to be coming home to somebody who has to compete with. When you're taking on a masculine trait and you're butt heads with the masculine individual, he is competing with you. And he doesn't want to do that when he gets home. Remember, number 3, you want to be enjoyable. And also, all of it applies to be complete, be whole. I'm going to show you why that's very important here. So what are then these feminine traits? I want you to think about this. I want to think about the word receiving. Remember how we talked about the egg is very receptive, very receiving? So when you receive a gift, how do you feel in your body when you receive a gift? It's different from giving a gift. How do you feel in your body when you're giving a gift? And then stop and think about how you feel in your body when you're receiving a gift. When you're receiving a gift, it's very different. It's a very different emotion. When you're receiving, you are vulnerable. When you're receiving, you are vulnerable. Vulnerability is your number 1 feminine trait. Being receptive is your number 1 feminine trait. And what traits are these? These are warm traits. When you're receiving a gift, how do you feel? You feel warm. You feel nurturing. You feel soft. You feel you're beautiful. You feel special. These are very feminine traits. And how do you communicate it this way so that you communicate in a feminine way where you don't take on masculine traits? And here's how you communicate. Here's the metaphor and how you can apply this into your communication. The masculine wants to penetrate the feminine, whether it's physically penetrate and psychologically and metaphorically penetrate in your communication. And how do you communicate in that way? The masculine wants to know how you feel in your body. I want you to really pay attention to this, and at first you'll hear this and you'll disagree with it, but when you try it, I want you to try it with any man you know. I want you to try it with, even if they're not your partner, I want you to try it with them. Talk about how you feel in your body. And the masculine, the man, will pay attention to you and be very, very interested. When you're telling the man what to do, and when you're robbing the man, the masculine energy, the opportunity for them to lead, when you're telling them what to do, and when you're asking them questions in a way that gets them to do something, it's very off-putting to them if they're a masculine individual, because these are masculine traits. The feminine traits is receptive, it's receiving. It's receiving the masculine trait, and it's communicating to the man how you feel in your body. And these are statements that are called I feel statements. These are I feel, I felt, I'm feeling. I feel, I felt, I'm feeling. Now I'm going to write it down because it's so important. These statements should make up a majority of your communication. When you are able to communicate how you feel, how you felt, how you're feeling, and you're not asking them questions, you're not telling them what to do, you're not asking questions that gets them to do something. Instead, you frame your statements into I feel, I felt, I'm feeling. This brings your counterpart into your body. They get to know I want you to think about this when you're communicating with your man. I want you to think, he wants to know how I feel in my body. That's what the man wants to know. Now, these statements are very powerful. They're very influential. They're very addicting to a man, because the masculine person, wants to know how you feel in your body. And they also take a lot of practice. I want you to practice this with every man you know. Talk about how you feel in your body. So your man asks you, hey baby, how are you doing? How are you doing today? How'd you do today at work? Oh, when I was at work, I was just feeling very energetic, and I was feeling like I wanted to produce, and I was feeling very good in my body. Or when you are conversating with your man in front of them, you want to talk about how you feel. When you receive something, remember, you want to be receptive. You don't want to get them to do something. Or, for example, if you ask them how they're feeling or how they did at work, a lot of times they will share with you that information, but a lot of times they don't want to. And when you force them to tell you how it is, or how they're feeling, or you force them to tell you how they're doing at work, they're going to be put off when you are trying to make them tell you these things. And so remember, the feminine is receiving. It's very receptive. It's not getting the other person to do something. It's not about action. And in fact, when you look at very, very feminine people, they talk very slow, while the man talks very fast. The master talks very fast, very logical. The woman is very in her body, is very kinesthetic. And you find that women who are very sexy are very kinesthetic. They are they're slow talking, and they're very much in their body. They're very much feeling. And so when you communicate in a way which doesn't get the man to do anything, you're just receiving. You're just waiting. You're just saying, hey, I'm here. I'm receptive. I'm warm. I'm charming. I'm soft. I'm beautiful. I like beautiful things. I like soft things. I wear soft things. I wear things that feel good in the body. Now, the man doesn't get to do that in the world, the masculine world, where he's competing, he's taking action. But when he comes home with you, when he's with you, and he's able to look into the feminine and be aligned with the feminine and penetrate you by knowing what's in your body, he gets to align with the feminine. He gets to be addicted to you because he wants these things. Now I'm running out of time, so I want you to practice this in your communication. Instead of getting the person to do something, instead of taking action, just be there, be in the moment, be in your body, and communicate how you feel in your body. Oh, when you tell me all these things, I really appreciate it. I feel really warm and really happy and really special when you do these things for me. When you cook for me, I feel so special. I feel like a little princess. When you call me and when you text me, it feels really good. It feels so warm, and I feel so joyous, and I feel so happy. And I feel really loved when you do that. I feel my legs tingling. I feel my crotch tingling. I feel it really warm, and I'm feeling really wet, to be honest. And I'm feeling all of these things. I feel like ecstatic and happy, and I feel like I want to be around you, and I love being around you. And so these are I'm feeling statements. I felt, I'm feeling, I feel. And so you want to practice all these things. Now I'm going to end it here. I've run out of time. If you want to continue your education on interpersonal communication and interpersonal relationships, in Module 7 of the Great Relationships University, we talk about relationships dynamics with men and women. And if you want to learn more and get started, get enrolled in the Great Relationships University online course, see a GRU representative, GRU ambassador, and I'll see you inside. Bye-bye.